Good morning, Winthrop Vikings. Today is January 29th and is a day 7 schedule.
Mr. Donnelly would like to remind all students that your senior photos are due, so make sure you go to the website and pick out your portrait.
All students need to select their photos by next Friday. This February 3rd and 4th is the last day to take your senior portraits. Make sure to go sign up by then. Also, don't forget that the Allies group will be meeting this Thursday, February 4th from 3 to 4:30.
Here at Winthrop High School, we have an assortment of classes that can be taken as electives and humanities.
Over the next couple of weeks, we want to highlight a few of these classes so that our students can pick them when doing course selection.
Today, we will be highlighting Psych, and we have Wake Up Winthrop's own John Cataldo to tell us a little bit more.
It's that time of year when us students get to choose our next upcoming school year courses. Here on Wake Up Winthrop, we will be featuring a new elective in humanity that underclassmen can choose to take next year. This week, we will be featuring psychology. Psychology is one of the many electives here at Winthrop High School. Psychology is also counts as a humanity. At Winthrop High School, a student must take 2 humanities to graduate. Psychology is mainly taught by Mr. Dixon, but this year Mr. Leonardo has began teaching the wonderful subject of psychology. We have caught up with some students and staff to see what they think of psychology.
Hey, Winthrop High School, course selection is coming up, and there's some things you should know about psychology. I teach intro to psychology and also AP psychology, and one of the things that you learn about, the whole point of psychology is you're learning about human behavior. You're learning about the things that make you tick. You're learning about why you do the things you do and why you don't do some of the things that you should do. All of that is what psychology is all about. It's got some aspects of science to it. It's got a lot of aspects of a little bit of math, a little bit. Definitely some aspects of social studies and research methods and things like that. So it's
psychology is the study of the human mind and human behavior. So it's a very broad field. It's fascinating to study, right? Asking the age-old question of why we do the things we do. Is it genetics? Is it experience or our environment? Mix of both. Psychology is called a social science, right? Which means that psychologists take a scientific approach to studying, in this case, human behavior in the human mind.
So I took Psych my junior year last year, and one thing I enjoyed was kind of like the open atmosphere of the whole class. Like it was bouncing off ideas. It wasn't kind of like, it was structured, but at the same time it was kind of like a bouncing off of like ideas almost, and like it was just overall fun class where it wasn't like a traditional like sit down, take notes. You had to actually kind of like think about it, and it was just fun to get everyone else's like input on stuff.
The thing that I learned that I enjoyed the most was the guy that had his left and right brain separated, and how he could like see the thing and like write it with a hand, but he couldn't say it what he saw.
kind of interesting in a lot of ways. Generally speaking, when I teach psychology, a lot of kids really enjoy the learning theory unit because it's a way in which they understand how they can be trained or taught the things that they're trained or taught to do. Most years, it's a lot more fun. It hasn't been all that exciting this year because we're remote or hybrid, but in a year that we are in school, there's a lot of activities that I like to do. There's a lot of just fascinating things that we can kind of run students through to give them a sense of what it's like to be conditioned or to be trained to do certain things. And then hopefully they can bring that with them, going forward in terms of babysitting, being a manager on a job, raising kids, whatever. So next year, hopefully we'll be in the building next year. I'm used to teaching psych in a full return setting when everybody's in the room. And when that happens, we do a whole lot of discussion. There's an awful lot of interesting things that come up every single day. My goal is to create a class where you leave and at least one thing sticks with you as, oh my God, that's fascinating. So that's my goal. It's been harder with hybrid and remote. As any student that's taken the class this year can tell you, it's just different. So next year, I think that if we have to stay remote next year, I think I will be much better at teaching it, first off. So I think that anyone who chooses to take this class next year can have confidence that I will know a little more about how to teach it in a remote setting. In addition, we've had Mr. Leonardo teaching sections of Intro to Psych this year. He's been phenomenal, and it's been a good opportunity for he and I to bounce ideas off each other and, with any luck, become better, both of us. How would students use this in their futures? So an awful lot of kids, one of the most one of the most popular one of the most popular college majors these days is psychology. A lot of kids major in psych in college only because it sets you up for so many different kinds of careers. You don't just have to be a mental health practitioner. You don't just have to be a counselor. You don't just have to be someone who researches clinical psychology, mental disorders, things like that. It's excellent preparation for people who want to be teachers. It's great preparation for folks who want to become lawyers. Any kind of detective, police officer, anything like that. A knowledge of human behavior is critical to a whole lot of different jobs. It's not, taking psych is awesome, but it's not necessary. You can soak up this knowledge in other ways just by relating to people and learning, getting to know people. But getting some theoretical background, some basis for understanding this topic is, I think, beneficial to a whole lot of different careers. Just the last thing I want to add is there's two levels of psychology. There's intro to psychology, it's an honors level course, and then there's advanced placement psychology. The topics are about the same. The depth is much, much different. So it's something that you're more than welcome to come talk to me about. I'm in room 304. Mr. Leonardo can also help you out. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let either one of us know, and we'll make sure and get a good answer to you. Okay, thank you.
What are some of the lessons that students enjoy most while taking psychology, and why? Well, I don't know. In my best Bill Belichick tone, I don't know. Why don't you go ask them? No, in all seriousness, I think students enjoy learning about lots of things in the throughout the year, but including maybe most importantly, what motivates us as humans. How do our thinking and cognitive abilities develop over time? How do our social environments and our groups that we surround ourselves in, how do they influence our thinking and behavior? I find that particularly important. Cripes. All right, take 5. All right. Well, so what's psychology? Psychology is a pretty cool class. It itself is a field of study. It's really about studying the human mind and human behavior, asking and debating the age-old question of why we do the things we do. Is it genetics? Is it experience? What is it? Mix of both. Psychology is what we call a social science, which means that we are taking a, quote, scientific approach to studying human mind and human behavior. What are some of the lessons that students enjoy the most while taking psychology, and why? In my best Bill Belichick tone, I don't know. Why don't you go ask them? But in all seriousness, I think, if I had to guess, students probably really enjoy learning about motivation, what motivates us as humans, how our thinking and cognitive abilities change or develop and change over time. I personally find the social psychology side, how our social environments influence us, our thinking, our behavior, I find that very engaging and interesting. I think students who are on the fence or curious about the class might think about signing up for next year. As it currently stands, although this might change, psychology is the only social science we offer at the high school right now. It's an extremely broad field of study, which I think is a good thing, because that means that although there might be some parts of the course you find less than entertaining or interesting, there will probably be several units or discussions that you do. It's very broad. And that means it exposes you to different topics, but also different career opportunities that you may have not have thought of. For example, lots of people think of psychologists as like the clinical psychologist, somebody who sits there and listens to somebody in like a therapeutic sense, maybe. But there are plenty of other psychologists. There are social psychologists who, again, study the influence of groups, how it shapes our behavior. There are forensic psychologists who are more on the criminal and law enforcement side. So I guess if you are into learning about the human mind and you maybe have an interest in biology, by all means, you'll certainly love this class. But just as much if you're into why do people join cults, why are people serial killers, right? Why do people choose to be violent, or why are they violent, right? All of these questions get asked by psychologists, so it's very broad. And I think the last thing I would add is that it can be foundational knowledge in a number of ways, even if you have no interest in having a career in psychology. Learning about psychology can help you in any career you choose or find yourself, even after high school, when you're in college. It can help you be a little bit more aware of things that we would refer to like emotional intelligence, how to build, healthy professional and personal relationships. I think maybe most importantly, it can kind of build a path toward showing empathy for others who have differing attitudes and beliefs. A lot of us, right, if we talk to somebody who has a different belief than us, we're like totally out of like, how could this person think the way they do? Like, it's totally off their, they're out of their minds, right? We kind of go to these cliche terms and write them off as they're out to lunch or whatever the phrase would be. But I think, taking a step back and having that foundational knowledge of like why somebody might have those beliefs, and I think that can actually help build empathy rather than writing somebody off because they happen to disagree with you for whatever reason.
My favorite thing I learned is I forget what the guy's name was, but this guy's got his brains blown out because like a spear went up in his skull or whatever. It was pretty morbid, but like it was cool that like he could still function, and like that's how we kind of had to learn about. It was, it was pretty weird, but at the same time, it was cool to know like, yeah, that happened, but this guy was still fine. I think. I would recommend people take this course just because it's not like a traditional like math or science or English. It's kind of like, it's just you're learning about different things you've never been really exposed to in a class setting. So I think that's one reason you should take it, is just because it's something different to kind of spicing up high school a little bit with a new course.
I enjoy taking Psych because I find it very interesting. And that's pretty much it. I really like the content. I would recommend it because, as I said, I find it pretty interesting. But there's a lot of names that you gotta know, so it's not like a very easy class.
Hope you guys learned a lot from that interview. And if you are interested in psychology or were thinking about it, you now know more about what the course is about. Stay tuned for next week's update. Back to the stew.
Thanks, guys. I personally really enjoyed taking Psych last year.
Me too, so make sure you take it when you can.
Next up, we have Kyle to tell us a little bit more about what our athletes were up to this past week with a special report on one of our amazing athletes' major milestones. Kyle? Woo!
Glad to see Winthrop continues to work their butts off on the court and on the ice even in times like this. We wanted to catch up with some players to see what their outlooks are for the rest of the season. This week, the girls basketball team dominated Gloucester at home 66-21, with senior Mara Dorr being the lead scorer and scoring her 1,000 point that game. The girls also played January 27th versus Saugus and then have a rematch versus Gloucester on the 28th. The boys hockey team played January 27th with a big win over a tough Masco 2-0, with junior J.D. Parker having a goal and sophomore Jack Hayes having a goal. Also, props to Ryan Hovermill for getting the goose egg. The Winthrop High School played great defense all around, anchored by Ari Hain, Evan Smotrich, Matt Hurley, and Joe Hayes. We caught up with J.D. Parker to find out more about the game and the future of the team.
I think I came out strong and stayed on a puck a lot and was pressuring the defenders, but on the defensive side, I was definitely running around a bit and was not staying true to my position.
I feel like my performance has been alright. I feel like I just need more shots on the net from the blue, get more goals.
As a collective, we definitely came out strong, and it definitely showed on the scoreboard as a solid team effort.
I feel like the team's performance pretty good. We came a long way since the first game. Come together.
I think we have to work on getting more shots to the net and staying on them early so that we're not taking that first shot 4 to 5 minutes into the game already, so that we can get those key scoring chances right at the opening puck drop.
Team can improve, like just more off offensive opportunities, you know what I mean? Get the puck in the back of the net.
The girls' hockey team also faced Masco the same day and unfortunately took a hard-fought 8-6 loss. Their leading scorer, Emma Holmes, had an impressive 2 goals, accompanied by Julia Holmes, Mia Norris, Sammy Demento, and Hannah Parker scoring as well. Unfortunately, the defense couldn't hold up against the Masco offense and ended the high-scoring game 8-6. We caught up with Summer Talent and Mia Martucci for more about the game.
I always think that our team plays great, and I really think that those last 2 goals from Emma Holmes at the end of the game is really showing how we won't stop the game without a fight. And we had such a solid game from Mia Norris. She played really good, and I'm just so proud of everyone.
I think last night playing Masco definitely wasn't our greatest performance. I think we definitely underestimated them. I think we didn't really go in completely ready. I think we thought we were just going to beat them by a lot, and it ended up costing us the game. Whereas I think in previous games against like Peabody and Gloucester and Newburyport, we were actually ready to play in the right mindset, and we played really good.
I think that the team can improve as a whole by communicating a little bit more, getting pucks in deeper, and back-checking a little bit faster.
I think what our team needs to improve on as a whole is we need to stay out of the penalty box and pass the puck more. I think we can shoot more, and I think if we do all these things, we will succeed.
I think that our performance overall was pretty good. I think that we can improve on finishing our chances and doing better in the offensive zone.
I think last night's loss against Masco definitely shows that we have things we need to improve on. We're playing Medford on Friday, and it's our second home game. I think that is going to be a strong game. They've always been a hard competitor of ours, and I think it's going to be a real test to how well we break out the puck, how well we shoot, how well we pass, and things like that. I want to improve on my rebounds and helping the D get the puck out as much as possible.
As you can see, our teams are roaring through their leagues and have not let the rust of a very different offseason affect their play. We will make sure to give you an update about gymnastics next week, as well as the return of the boys basketball team. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, guys.
And last but not least, we have our weekly senior spotlight.
One thing I feel people are going to get a kick out of, and it's really definitely what I'm going to miss most about Winthrop High School is back in my junior math class, Mr. Palin told the whole class and I a funny story about how he saved a good friend of his back in high school from a guy with prosthetic legs. And him and I proceeded to act out the scene. He tells me, "Jordyn, get your butt up onto the podium." And I go, "Okay." So I go up onto the podium, and then Mr. Palin puts me in a full Nelson, like Hercules Hernandez. And I'm like, "Really?" And I yell, "I got prosthetic legs!"
Jordan Bernard, my man. Jordan, when you came in freshman year, you were one of the first people that I met from your class. You were a confident, awesome young guy with a mohawk that was ready to tackle high school. And I'm happy to say that we became friends over the last 4 years. And we hung out just about every morning in my classroom. I saw you every day. Sometimes you were there before I was. But it's been just a great pleasure to get to know you and teach you and have you in my classes and discover the type of person you are and watch you grow and persevere through the past several years. You are a great guy. You've developed into a fantastic young man who overcomes challenges and who always rises to the occasion and is always there to support your classmates. You're a unique and fantastic guy, Jordan. And I know that after you graduate, I know we're going to still keep in touch. So it feels good to not have to say goodbye because I know that we're going to be connected for a long time to come. So, Jordan, good luck with everything. I can't wait to see you accept that diploma. And I'm going to miss you.
Jordan, I would just want to wish you all the luck going forward. in your future, with your future endeavors. The last 4 years have been absolutely fabulous. There is absolutely, positively nobody who is more well-versed on the beautiful sport of professional wrestling than you are. I really enjoyed our conversations about WrestleManias, Royal Rumbles, you name it, SmackDowns, Raws. Like all the years I've been in this school, nobody knows more about wrestling than you, and I'm gonna really miss having those conversations. So with that said, I really would love to see you pursue a career in the ring and go to like maybe the Wild Samoans wrestling school in I think it's in Minnesota. So look that up on the internet, and if you go that route, I will help contribute to your tuition. All right? So whatever, you just feel free, reach out, and again, best of luck with everything. You're such a nice person. Great, great person. That's a wonderful thing. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. You good?
We're all set.
Jordyn Bernard is probably one of the nicest kids I've met in Winthrop High School. I started as his guidance counselor 4 years ago. Awesome kid, great baller. I hope to maybe even get him on my March Madness team this year and get him a title because he deserves it. Best of luck with everything, Jordyn.
Yeah, totally. Yep. I so agree with you, Jedi Master Yoda. Hey, Winthrop High School. I was just talking to my mentor, Jedi Master Yoda, who also agrees that Jordyn Bernard is one of the greatest human beings on the whole entire planet Earth. Facts. So Jordyn was one of the first students that really went out of their way to make a connection with me when I was first introduced into the Winthrop High School community at the start of last school year. And he just made me feel super comfortable in this town when I really didn't know many people, including staff and students. And that warmth kind of continued on. There's been days where I've been low energy, and Jordyn is someone that I see in the hallways, and you just kind of see this big smile, and it's infectious and it's contagious, and it's just something that it's easy to feel better about your day and go about it when you see someone like Jordyn who's just making the best out of his days. So yeah, I'm such a big fan, and it's been awesome to watch Jordyn kind of finish off his his time here in Winthrop with grace. Obviously it's not an ideal situation for your senior year, but Jordyn has been making the best of it. He's brought a lot of sunshine and joy into my life, and I'm definitely gonna miss him when he leaves here next year. But I get a feeling that we're going to be seeing a lot more of Jordyn Bernard. If I had to guess, in 10 years, I see Jordyn being like an absolute superstar on like the Worldwide Wrestling Federation circuits. He's going to be like either a famous wrestler or teaching wrestling school, and he's also going to be working and leading and inspiring youth along the way. But either way, I see great things for Jordyn Bernard. Such a big fan. Good luck, Jordyn. We'll see you soon. Peace.
So yeah, that's one of my second talking Rich Rosenberg's era about Fall Brawl, King of the Ring, WrestleMania. Ooh yeah! Thank you, Rich, for the fun times of talking about wrestling with me, and I hope after high school I run into you and we can talk about it some more. So thank you both, Mr. Palin, for putting me in Hercules Hernandez's full Nelson, and Mr. Rosenberg for talking my ear off about wrestling all the time with me. So, Mr. Rosenberg, thanks a lot for that.
That's all we have for you guys this week.
Enjoy your day and the rest of the weekend, and roll bikes! Woo!